Do you ever like do your hair and you don't care about it, and then later you're like, what were you thinking? That's how I feel right now. All right. Hi, kids. Welcome back to another pizza party. I'm Mrs. Pizza, and we are here today because I read an entire paranormal romance series, honestly, because a lot of my favorite romance authors were involved. And now I'm here to talk about it and tell you about it and tell you which ones are worth reading. Cheese, I swear to God, stop licking. She, can't hear me, apparently. All right. Before we get started, introductions are in order. I am Mrs. Pizza. Winnie is back there behind the camera. Hold on. I'll get some B-roll for you. There she is, Winnie. Winnie. Oh, you're so beautiful. You know it, though, don't you? Regal and classy. Back there. You see that tiny little terror? That is Cheese, who thankfully has finally stopped licking. I think she thinks she's a cat. From time to time, Amazon does a collection of short stories and Amazon originals where they get famous authors from different genres to write short stories. They lump them all together. I'm sure they give them a prompt of some kind. They have horror versions of this, they have fantasy versions of this, and some of their most popular versions are the romance versions. And just in time for spooky season, they had a bunch of my favorite romance authors come out with a bunch of short paranormal, happens on Halloween, monster adjacent romance short stories. The name of this Amazon series is the Scared Sexy Collection, so you know what you're getting. I'm going to talk about these in descending order. They're labeled 1 through 6. If I forget to tell you what star rating I gave it, I'll put it up on the screen because sometimes I get excited to talk about books and I forget about the stuff I was supposed to tell you. I also read these in this order, so not only is this the order that I read them in, but it was me bookending it with two of my favorite romance authors. The air conditioning just kicked on. Sir, it is October. The first story we're going to talk about is All My Boyfriends Are Monsters, and this is by Kimberly Lemming. I should start this off by saying I love Kimberly Lemming. I have a parasocial love for Kimberly Lemming. I know nothing about her on a personal level. I just know that I love her books and her sense of humor so much that if she walked up to me and said, "Do you want to be best friends?" I would drop everything I was doing and say, "Yes, I would love to be your best friend." She has a fantastic sense of humor. You would probably know her from her series, which starts off with That Time I Got Drunk and Saved a Demon, and subsequently goes on to get drunk and yeet a love potion at a werewolf and save a dragon, I believe. Oh no, we save a human. We save a human in the last one. These are funny and fun fantasy romances. They are spicy and they make you laugh. They are a silly, good time. Her most recent book that was just published, she decided to do aliens, and she wrote, I got abducted by aliens and now I'm trapped in a rom-com. So if you cannot tell from the titles of these stories, Kimberly Lemming she's hilarious. She's here to have a funny, fun, good time. In this book, we have Lucy. Lucy is on a hiking trip with her horrible boyfriend, who is inconsiderate, and that's what you get for licking. You're not supposed to lick. Lucy is on a hiking trip with her inconsiderate and awful boyfriend and some girl who obviously has the hots for her boyfriend. I think this is for her boyfriend's work or something, but they're hiking up to do a camping trip on a mountain. Lucy is not much of a hiker, and after she falls behind yet again, the group of people she's hiking with leave her behind like a bunch of jerks. Honestly, Lucy, you could do better, girl. So she texts the group chat, all of her friends. She's like, I got left behind. They're like, that guy. We hate him anyways. And she ends up finding a well off the beaten path of the woods. She drops a coin inside, makes a wish, and maybe someone hears this wish and makes it happen. In true Kimberly, Winnie's also currently moving the tripod. I don't know if there's enough room right here. I don't know if there's enough room right here for you, Winnie. Were you feeling a little bit neglected? Oh, in my lap? Okay. Well, we're going to sit like this until Winnie's done. Hope you don't mind, because Winnie doesn't. If you have ever read any of Kimberly Lemming's books, you know that even the spicy times are absolutely bananas hilarious. This is so unserious. Although it is legally I'm not legally able to give a Kimberly Lemming book less than a 4-star. So I gave it a 4-star because I support her in everything she does. Her books make me happy. This is just fine. It's the story of Lucy making a wish and maybe some eldritch type monster hearing her. And then spicy stuff happens. If that doesn't sound like something you want to read, don't read this. If it does, this was hilarious. The next book we're going to talk about is Beautiful Nightmare, and this is by Katee Roberts. Katee Roberts has a few series that have become somewhat popular in the book space. Neon Gods, I think, made the round, which was kind of like a Greek myth retelling Hades and Persephone situation. She also had a series of books that were dark romance retellings of Disney movies. So there's that. I like Katee Roberts just fine. Her books tend to be very spice heavy. There is nothing wrong with that if that's what you're looking for. But sometimes I'm a little overwhelmed by how much smexy time is happening in those books. Sometimes they make me clutch my pearls. And honestly, it takes a lot for that to happen to me. How I would describe this in like an elevator pitch. Now there's dog hair on my lip. I wonder where that came from, Winnie. If I had to give you an elevator pitch for what this story is, or what I thought the inspiration was, this is like Monsters, Inc., but make it spicy demon stuff. This is the story of Gemma. She is a demon. She is a bubblegum pink demon, of all things. And she is at the end of her training to become a paralysis nightmare demon thing. And she has been assigned to Caleb. He is her first human who she needs to go in, scare the lights off of this man, scare the bananas out of this man's pants. What? No, keep the bananas in your pants. Or honestly, in this book, he does not keep the banana in the pants. Gemma needs to go in, scare Caleb, and then feed off of his fear. But Gemma finds out another way to feed off of another version of emotion that she inspires in Caleb. Short, spicy, and I actually kind of liked how this one resolved. I didn't know where it was going, but short, spicy, hot, bubblegum pink demon. Monsters, Inc. There you go. Next up, we have another one of my absolute favorite romance authors, and that is Ruby Dixon. This is called Space Vampire. And true to form, this is an alien romance. Ruby Dixon, who you know from Ice Planet Barbarians, but honestly, you should be reading the Risterverse novels because they're absolutely adorable and very, very spicy. Or pick up Ruby Dixon's fantasy romance because I love a Ruby Dixon fantasy romance. I digress. This is the story of Dana, and she is a pet to an alien on a space station. And on the space station, they are making splices, I believe is what they call it in this world. If you've read any of Ice Planet Barbarians, Risterverse, the Corsairs novels, you know the common occurring aliens and the different types of alien species in this world. But on the space station, they're making clones. They call them splices because they use different attributes and DNA from different aliens to make super gladiators that people pay for in order to fight them to the death. And so they have made a big, super scary, perhaps a little vampire-y alien. When he escapes into the space station, everyone evacuates, leaving Dana behind. So now Dana is stuck on a space station with a big, scary space vampire alien. Spicy times ensue. I like Ruby Dixon novels. I like the world she creates. The heroines always are kind of spunky and funny. The men tend to be just head over heels with these women absolutely immediately. It's space vampires. And Ruby Dixon. If you like Ruby Dixon aliens, you'll like this. It's that easy. Next up, we had Spicy Little Curses. This is the only author in this complete collection that I had never read from before. I don't think they do a lot of paranormal / monstery type romance, where I know that all of the other authors, I have read books from them that have teetered on that line, at least. Some of them have blown that line to bits and run across it as fast as possible. But I don't think this romance author is for me. I didn't really like this. Was my least favorite of all of the different stories in this collection. Let me tell you what it's about, and then I can tell you what I didn't like about it. How about that? This is the story of a reporter. I believe her name was Petra, and she has shown up at the tattoo shop of this guy named Dax in Louisiana because apparently she has heard all these rumors that he has these like supernatural tattoos all over his body. And so she has followed all of this gossip to his front door, and he's like, hey, get the hell away from me, and slams the door in her face. But she ain't taking no for an answer because she's got a story to write for some reason. I don't know. She works for some like TMZ, but make it ghosts type publication. And so she continues to seek out answers about Dax's tattoos. They end up having to work together to uncover some sort of curse that has been put on Dax's family. This just didn't have the right chemistry for me, is how I'll put it. I felt like There was a lot of dark magic chemistry stuff happening, but the chemistry between these two characters, the first time they kissed, I was like, whoa. Honestly, the first time they got the spicy scene happened, I was like, oh, I wasn't expecting that to happen right then. There was just no chemistry between these characters. I felt like the story was just a regurgitated bunch of episodes of like Charmed and Supernatural all pushed together. This didn't feel new and creative. It didn't feel romantic and swoony. I didn't end up liking it. I think I gave it like 2 stars. And that seems nice of me now thinking back to how much I didn't like this. I did listen to this one on audio. This was the only one I listened to on audio of all of these. And whoever the male narrator was, he has a very pleasing voice. That was the only reason that I continued on until the end of this. That, and it was incredibly short. So up next, we had Falling. And this is by Christina Lauren. This I was surprisingly entertained by. This is the story of Kat, and she has just shown up to a Halloween party with her loser boyfriend. She is definitely on the way out of this relationship. I mean, they were supposed to have a couple's costume that matched, and he was supposed to be a shepherd, and she was supposed to be a lamb, and he shows up dressed up like a basketball player or something like that. So now she's to show up to this Halloween party where she doesn't know anyone, dressed up as like a slutty lamb. While she's there, a dark and mysterious man catches a glimpse of her, and he's immediately interested, and then paranormal romance ensues. This, I felt like I wish there was more to this. I enjoyed the story. I liked the idea of the backstory. I liked both of these characters and felt the chemistry was there for them. I just wish this was longer. Like, it needed just a little bit more meat. It needed to be just a little bit longer. I would have taken a full-length novel of these two where we had a little more breathing room for them to get to know each other. But I liked this, and I liked the idea of this world. It needed to be a little bit longer to be like a true hit for me. And the last one, which I'm the most excited to tell you about, because it is by Allie Hazelwood. And one thing you should know about Miss Allie Hazelwood is she can write the absolute out of a short story. She is so good at romantic short stories. They feel so whole and complete in the short period of time that she has. She can flesh out a whole world and a whole romance and a whole backstory in such a short number of pages. Girl, you are good at your job. This is called Hot for Slayer, and this is the story of a vampire named Ethel who has been spending centuries eluding a very dark, broody, and handsome vampire slayer. In this world, vampire slayers are also immortal. They seem to go through some sort of trial training process similar to like a Witcher, where they come out this other side after this horrible ordeal as like a vampire slayer. Their eyes are yellow and they have like one purpose in life: to kill vampires. Ethel has spent centuries running away from this man, and she is pretty good at it. She's also a pretty good fun time. I feel like she's hilarious. Ethel has tried her best to be a vampire in the least awful way possible, but I like her outlook as a vampire. She's much more charmed in romanticizing the everyday. She doesn't need to do like big, huge things in her immortal life. She's here to just enjoy all of the small moments, to romanticize what immortality is. Well, one time, Ethel and her sworn nemesis, Mr. Hot Slayer Man, get into an altercation with another vampire. It's like a battle between the three of them. And then, oops, Slayer Man gets knocked on the head and he gets a little bit of amnesia. And now Ethel has got Hot Slayer Man with no memory of who he is. And she's like, what am I supposed to do with this man? I loved this. I loved it. I would absolutely read a full-length novel about them, but I don't need one. This was so well done. I was absolutely emotional several times while reading this, and this was by far my favorite in the series. Here is my ranking from one I liked the most to one I liked the least in these, and I will let you use your discretion and the slight synopsis that I gave you about each story to determine if they're worth your time. In the grand scheme of things, none of these are very long, and because they're available on Kindle Unlimited, both as an ebook and as an audiobook, so if you have that service, you can listen to them for free. None of them are really going to waste your time too long. But if you want to pick with discretion, I would definitely say pick these ones. These ones were my favorite. Also, just know that Allie Hazelwood is really good at her job, and I hope she knows that. I hope she wakes up every morning and just says, I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing in the universe. But that, kids, was me telling you about an entire paranormal romance series I read just in time for Halloween. If you had fun hanging out with me and the dogs, which I need to show you what Winnie is doing. Oh, don't be shy. Don't be shy. She has made herself incredibly comfortable. If you had fun hanging out with me and the dogs, please subscribe. I hope you're reading good books out there, wherever you are, and I'd love to hear about them. And we'll see you next time. Right, Winnie girl?